On guess what, boys and girls? It is 7:16 on a Thursday night. You know what that means. Wait, did I roll a wild? It's just a little bit later than normal, but we're here and we're happy about it. We hope you are too, as this is your Marvel Crisis Protocol vlog. I am joined tonight by not only Mr. Dan Cole, by not only Mr. Dylan Dyer, but me. I'm here. My name's Tim. I'll be your host, and I'm delighted that you're here with us. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things tonight. We're going to be continuing our year in review, talking about the most changed character for the better or worse over the course of, the entire year. It's like almost an entire year in review. Whoa. If you checked out the last year in review, we talked about the most changed affiliation since the card update late last year for the, effectively that has been taking place all year. But this time we're going to be narrowing it down to just the best and worst characters that have been affected by those changes. In addition to that, guess what? Everyone here has been asking for it. Ulik.
The Unstoppable.
Sometimes the Invincible, sometimes God of Thunder Ulik. Listen, he goes by a lot of titles, but
a few monikers.
He was announced this week as, in addition to, a confirmation on Beta Ray William. Actually, something that I think no one is unhappy about unless you check comments on the internet. But
who's unhappy about Beta Ray Bill?
Like literally one person. Most people. Checking the comments on these things, right? And it's like, whoa, everyone's actually as happy about this as I am. And then there's one guy who's like, who is this? And I was like, deleted. Just blocked him straight up.
That's not even a negative comment.
I don't need that negativity. Nope, it's negativity. I don't need that in my life. I'm not going to deal with it. If you don't know who Beta Ray Bill is, listen, that's fine. But if you're going to hate on Beta Ray Bill without being knowing who he is, I do have a problem with that. He has a horse face. That's also a skull. And he's also worthy.
Because he's a cyborg.
He's...
What? He is. I actually did some research.
I have problems with what you said. But...
Why?
It's not incorrect. So I just have to move on. But...
You're welcome.
Moving on. Guys, we really appreciate you all being here tonight. As always, a huge thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/professionalcasualnetwork, especially the people that are our patrons at patreon.com/professionalcasual. Don't type in the network part. That was a joke. But really appreciate our professional cake sitters and our King Dean Doppelgangers, including Bastion, Rob, Leroy, Cider Drinker, Dr. D, Bicon, the new one that just happened today,
Cider Drinker,
Adam Dagna,
Tony Hot Hands.
Who's
the new one?
I sent a message so I didn't have to remember.
You did? I missed that message apparently.
But they upgraded today. Maybe I intended to. There was a lot of things that I intended to do today that I didn't actually do, but I certainly had copied to my my clipboard at some point. Yep, definitely didn't send it.
Thanks, whoever you are.
But so they go by a lot of names, right? Some might say. And one of the names that they go by, this new professional cake sitter,
you look the invincible troll,
is a person that might be by the name of check the show notes. It's a kind of a mystery. It's going to be there in the show notes, though. So that might be the time to go ahead and check around out. But
it's like a scavenger hunt.
So their name on the Patreon is like a name and then a really big long middle name in quotation marks. So I don't know if they want to go by that name, which is also different than their email name. That's like their name at Yahoo or gmail.com. So I was like, I don't know how I should refer to them because there's literally like 4 different options.
Okay.
But they recently upgraded, and we really appreciate that. And some might say that I still don't have their name readily available.
Good at stalling.
Correct. I think I'm actually.
Axel said it's just cider drinker again.
It is probably just cider drinker again. So shout out to cider drinker. Really appreciate that. But
That's so good.
Dan and I also this past Monday on Oh Yeah, the Power Phase right here on the Twitch played a game with the brand new Crisis, the Paranoia Crisis, with some
Yeah.
disturbances, as well as an old favorite, which was not Infinity Formula, but I thought it was because we used Infinity Formula tokens.
Right.
But instead, we played.
I use the Infinity Formula tokens for the Paranoia one because we don't have tokens.
and
for
we
that.
paired that with Mayor Fisk.
Yes, the new Mayor Fisk, where they're much the witnesses are way closer.
They're way closer.
Like,
Witnesses
right there.
usually tend to stick together, which is why they're closer now
Sure.
on map
K?
K. It's one of the
I think one was H and one was K. I don't know the new maps yet. I never knew the old maps anyway.
It's definitely one of the new maps, but that you would want to spell phonetically on the phone so that people don't think that the J is a K or a the other letters that are like that. I was thinking like
B or
T,
V.
C, B, and E, but like I was like, oh, K and J are actually not as abundant as the E ending letters.
What?
I thought.
What is he talking
Well,
about?
I thought that was
idea.
pretty
Just
straightforward,
ram-
right? Or
Just
no?
I
rambling.
mean, J is like the least commonly used letter in English.
That's not true.
Pretty sure it is.
Z is the least commonly used letter in the English language.
Have you ever heard of a zizzers, zazzer, zuz?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's from the Sleep Book by Dr.
Well,
Seuss.
listen, hey, like the great Early said from Squidbillies, I never learned what came after the F. All right. I never did learn what was after the F.
But we have some
And
news
that's Florida
this week.
education.
Dude, so that's how it struck me watching Squidbillies. I was like, yo, this is just Florida, huh?
I don't know.
It sure is.
not
Well,
the
I think it's
Florida
actually
that-
Georgia.
Not the Florida that everyone flies to, but northern Florida.
The Florida-Bama line.
Yes, yep. But all right,
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bell,
Hey, Ray
Cyborg
Bill.
Horseface.
Cyborg. Yeah,
Why are you so upset about him being a cyborg? He
because
is.
It takes away from the power of his meow meow object.
it does.
Apparently-
Stormbreaker?
Yeah.
Is this, yeah, because he had the original Stormbreaker, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. We always start this particular show with me rambling for exactly 7 minutes and 55 seconds. But after that, we always talk about hobby stuff. What have you hobbied this week? What have you painted? What have you primed? What have you assembled? Or what have you paid or Tom Sawyered or Huckleberry Finned other people into doing for you?
So before we do this, it's only fair for me to say I've been on this podcast a couple times, and you have never once asked me about what I've hobbied.
That's
I
not
don't know,
true. That's not
Did-
true.
Is it?
Axel Bullet, roll the tape back for us, please.
All of them.
He also said the order of least used letters in English: Z, Q, J, X, and K. I feel like I'm at the optometrist here. I'm covering one eye and
Yeah,
read
it's
it
so
again.
weird that
Wow, that's
Jay's not
really
on
blurry.
there at all, but
That's
Jay
way better.
started it. Who's the English teacher now?
Upstairs.
Yep, fair.
That's true.
But
Anyway,
the last few times I've had to say, I haven't really done any hobby, blah, blah, blah. I've done a lot since the last time I've been on the show.
Oh, it's been a hot minute, huh?
It's been a few weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I built, painted Pyro and Blob. Built, painted the Logan. I
Logan.
keep calling him the Logan.
Logan.
Logan
I think
the Wolverine.
actually the old Logan is the Lolgan.
The
I think the
Lolgan.
new one's the good one.
An Apex Sabertooth. I got those ready. 'Cause I
Apex
used all
Brother
them
Sabertooth,
on Monday.
yes.
I built the Weapon X bunker.
How did that go?
Not bad. Not
Okay.
bad at all. I haven't painted it yet because I want to prime it, but I don't want to use half a can of primer
Yeah.
because it's huge.
Do you think it's
Out of
gonna take more than
curiosity-
half a can of primer?
Not literally, but
Oh.
Did you ever build the Spider-Man terrain thing?
no.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I haven't even built
it's
the
way
Spider-Man.
too much.
No,
I
you've only had that
It's
box
just the
for
Doc
a little
Ock.
while. So that
I got it in October.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
but
that's
I
true.
built Dr. Octopus. I've been painting him. He's, whip. But I didn't build the terrain or the Spider-Man that came in that box because I had just finished painting Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't want to paint another Spider-Man yet, so I'll get there eventually.
All right, so I'm gonna interject something into the lexicon right now.
Oh no!
Get
I
ready
knew
for
I shouldn't
this.
have used an acronym.
Yep. And it triggered
I should
something-
know better.
It triggered something deeply in me, and this is now a term
You're welcome.
for a model that is table ready, but you're not actually done with. In your mind, it's still a work in progress. You still want to do more to it, but it is table ready, so the odds of you circling back to it are pretty low.
Yep.
And we're going to call that, totally honestly, work in progress, or THWIP. I think it's genius.
Totally honestly work in progress.
Yeah,
I got it.
Truthfully, honestly, it's a work in progress. It's
All
the
right.
old THWIP. And that's
Instead of a whip, it's a thwip.
yeah, that's so
That's what I meant with my Sentinels and Malekith.
Yeah.
Like, they're good enough for stream, but
it's a
they're
whip
not
that you're
done.
going to go back to, or that you really would like to go back to. That's a THWIP. There you go.
I don't hate it, actually.
You heard it here first.
That was way better than I was expecting.
Yeah, it almost even wasn't a stupid pun. It was just like, oh, that's actually something we don't have a term for. Listen, that's what we do
clever.
here. That's what we do here on this.
It's good to give it a word. It's good to give it a word.
Yeah, and
Words are powerful.
Quinn said that sentence hurt him. Also fair. It's like you've spoken to me before.
Yeah.
But so you got Blob and Pyro done.
Yes.
You assembled the bunker.
Yes.
You got Lolgan done.
And Apex
And
Sabretooth.
Apex Brother Sabretooth. That's actually quite a bit.
Yeah, so I think I'd have to roll back the tape. Axel, that I'm pretty sure that meets my end of year goal. I forget it wasn't like the New Year's resolution, it was like what we wanted to do before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I said I wanted to get the new releases done. So I think I did. I think I actually did it.
Okay, I just got some very unsettling news.
What?
I don't think that's true. No, stop, chat. Settle down. Axel has gone back and checked the tapes and have confirmed that I have never asked Dr. D about his hobbying.
You always bring it up too. You're always like, "This is the part of the show where we talk about hobbying." Dr. Let's talk about the rhino. I was like, "Okay, sure."
Wait,
You've
just
done
last
it every
week
single time.
or ever? Dr. D's been on a lot recently. I think it. Could I have forgotten
I was
once?
on-
For sure.
What was the other show I was on?
Did I forget every time?
We
Gosh,
talked
I hope
about the Wolverine Logan
Yeah,
card
yeah.
and Apex Sabretooth card because I missed both of those.
Yeah,
For
and
various
Rhino.
reasons.
And
And the Rhino card. I haven't talked about a new character in a hot minute.
All right, so Dr. D, here's what I'm going to say
Well,
right now.
we'll keep that going.
I'm going to keep having you on until I remember to ask you about your hobby thoughts for the week.
All right, so Beta Ray Bill.
But so Beta
All
Ray
right,
Bill.
let's talk about Beta
got
Ray
announced
Bill. All
this
right.
week, officially confirmed, which is actually really nice. We got a nice, cool picture that had both him and Ulik, or is it Ulik?
I believe it's Ulik. I don't
Ulik?
know.
I-
Olik sounds weird.
It does, and that's his brother, by the way, is Ulik. I'm not kidding.
Ulik. It is Ulik.
I'm not joking. Ulik is his brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is
Yes.
it really?
He also has a sister.
Is their dad Omek?
Uh,
The choice is yours.
I'll check right now.
his dad has a name, and I don't know what it is offhand.
Dad has a name.
Cannot confirm for prior weeks. All right, so what we're saying, Axel, is that there's still a chance that I've asked him about it in the past.
You never have. Not yet.
Oh, listen. I've betrayed myself several times before. Is this one of those times? It might be, but
Could be.
Dr. D and I talked a little bit last week about Beta Ray Bill and what we thought he might end up as, and it seems like a lot of the internet agreed with that they expect this to be good Thor.
If he's not better Thor, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't go that way just because I don't want to read all of Mitch's comments on Facebook about how upset he is that Thor.
Mitch needs something, and this is I absolutely adore Mitch,
I love Mitch.
and
He's
we're going to
great.
be having him soon on the Power Phase, as soon as we get some details nailed down. But I am super excited to have a better Thor be able to distract him a little bit from talking about how much terrain is on a board.
At least he says when he's like, you guys get a little bit of a pass because he understands that
Yeah.
big pieces of terrain in the middle of the table make it so you can't see half the models.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and that
for
kind of
sure.
defeats the purpose of streaming. But yeah, I love watching when he comments and other people are like, oh, it's Mitch again. He's here to yell. You posted a picture of terrain. You summoned Mitch. And he's like, yes.
To be fair, he's not wrong.
No, I mean,
I've seen,
No.
especially today on one of his posts on actually a very well terrained board.
Mhm.
He was like, "This is what I like to see. There's a lot of 4s, there's a lot of 5s. They're spaced out well."
I did see that one.
And to be fair, his points are actually very valid. Threat for characters, especially the spider people and characters with flight, is based around having that as an ability. If there's not terrain to make that valuable to that character, they are in fact devalued by having a lack of terrain on the field.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's absolutely right.
Yeah,
It also
100%.
makes characters like Rhino better.
It does, and
Oh my gosh.
everyone knows that Rhino should be better. So
He should be. I agree.
no, so I think that they're all actually very valid, and just as a whole, I would like everybody to just take a moment right now, get a rubber band, maybe some twine or ribbon, and wrap it around your index finger or your wrist.
I was gonna say
And-
Elmer glue. Does that work?
And yeah, probably.
Okay, I'll try.
And keep it on there until the next time you play Marvel Crisis Protocol. And when you do, look at your finger or look at your wrist and be like, huh, what is this ribbon for? Oh, yeah, I should
power
probably
phase.
double the amount of terrain I use. And then do it.
Double it.
Well, listen, whether it's us, whether it's Dallas, whether it's just anyone that has ever enjoyed this game, making a ruckus is fun.
Oh,
Add
yeah.
more terrain. Make it more interesting. Add cooler stuff directly in the center of the board, all over the place. The range 2 away from another terrain piece is, in fact, a suggestion and not a hard rule. Throw more garbage cans, throw more barrels, throw more dumpsters, get more cars. Just make a ruckus.
Garbage cans.
Some stay dry and others feel the pan. Throw some pans on there. Anywho.
I got little piles of garbage. Oh, those are size 1, so that's not really the same. I need to paint those someday, too.
Who is Ulik?
Oh, so Ulik is the king of the rock trolls.
Oh, I see.
You know, the brother of Ulik. Maybe you've heard of him.
He's the
Yeah,
biggest,
no,
baddest
sure
rock
haven't.
troll there ever done was.
Listen, he stole Stormbreaker once. He was part of the Dark Council with Lady Loki and Namor, oddly enough.
Was that
As-
when he was Tyrannus? Tanaris?
That's when he was the Thunder God, was when he was Tanaris.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said.
That's what I thought he said.
That is in fact what he said. Yes.
But yeah, no, he's actually on paper. If you just look him up on like the Marvel Wiki or the 616 Universe thing, he actually seems pretty straightforward. He's a bad guy.
Literally doing that right now.
He's strong.
As we're talking.
He's big. He's somewhat invulnerable. But there's actually a lot more there going on.
My favorite type of characters.
Right. Yes, that's true. And that's why I really need to distinguish this, because he's not just that. He is a lot more intelligent than a lot of just kind of the big dumb brutes. He is the king of the rock trolls. He has fought Thor and has outsmarted him on actually a pretty regular basis. Also, he only has 2 toes, and I think that looks rad as heck. In addition to that, he uses knuckle dusters, pummelers, some might say, and I really like punch bands, and he is somewhat of a punch band.
Oh, absolutely.
I also assume that he will probably have some fast healing on his card.
It does have a regenerative healing factor.
I
as
do
a
not.
troll.
Correct. I do not think that this character will be under a 4, and I will state that claim now, and I will woefully eat my words when I am probably wrong.
I mean,
He's got to be a 4.
realistically, he should be a 5 or 6
Yeah.
I
real.
also agree.
based on his power. Like, he goes toe to toe with Thor, he should be a 5.
I legitimately think he
Wolf.
will be Luke Cage to Colossus, or as Dylan and I
comparison.
talked last week, Juggernaut to Rhino. I think we will see Ulik at a 5 as a better Black Dwarf.
Oh.
There you go.
I thought you were going to compare him to Hulk, but okay,
Except
okay.
he'll have a charge, because he does not use a big, heavy weapon. He
a
uses
good idea.
them big old
Just
hands.
Punches you.
Gets right in there.
One thing I was reading about him is that with his punching and his pounders, as they're called, his knuckle dusters, he like punches the ground like Donkey Kong and Smash Bros. Boom, 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 and he makes like an earthquake around him. So I think he's gonna have an area attack
I do
as
too.
a spender, just and then it'll get people slow as they're like stumbling around.
I completely agree. Slower stun, maybe even a push, I think would be super spot on.
I think that would be super cool.
It'd probably be like an AoE attack.
Yeah, Yep.
AoE attack that gives out
probably A2.
some kind of stat.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
two is
probably A2.
reasonable.
He might have a shockwave or something similar to Hulk, but not energy, probably physical.
Yeah.
Happens in a beam. I am going to go ahead and make my big chuck call of the day, of the week, of the rest of actually 2022, and say that he's going to have some form of inert to pain or invulnerability and
You should.
fast healing 1.
Yes, I think
At
1.
least.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2. He's gonna have a ton of health.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think more than that could
How much-
be a bit much.
How much health does... I'm going to look it up right now. How much health does Black Dwarf have? I'm looking it up right now.
He's like 6 and 8 or something.
Is he really that
I
low?
believe he
6 and-
goes up significantly when he flips.
Yeah, 6 and 8.
So, and while I compared him to Black Dwarf at first, I actually think he's going to be a 4-threat or a 5-threat lizard.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
All he does is
That's
punch
good.
things and throw stuff.
Punch things, throw stuff. Chuck would certainly call him basic, but there's going to be a lot more going on under the hood with invulnerability, fast healing, a throw, an AoE, potentially a beam, and probably a really decent builder as well.
And Cyber Drinker. Yeah, I think that... that joke is just never going to get old.
Does it?
Yeah, I mean, because like I think the most important thing to consider is like, is it going to have a push on his strike? Because you figure the Spender's probably going to be the AoE thing if that is what he does.
Mhm.
And yeah, I would imagine the punch. I'm hoping it has a stun, right? Because if you get knocked in the melon with a piece of metal, I
Yeah.
imagine it must
No,
knock
he's
your
gonna
brain
have
pan around.
concussive, everybody's favorite special rule. Where
Yeah,
you just
everybody
lose the
loves it.
power.
I was like, who's got that Colossus?
Yeah, and
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
That's it. Oh, who?
Yeah, fair.
Cyclops, you may have heard of him. Never
I
played him,
haven't.
but you've heard of him.
That's fair.
And when you
I
play him,
heard somebody stole his Jeep and his bike.
no! Now you can buy it. Also,
I have to paint that bike, too.
there have been no motorcycles that have shown up at the P.O. box yet.
It just came out like a week ago.
Listen, I was really excited. I've been checking for like a month. I know it just came out last week, but I'm still checking every day. And by me checking, I'm like, hey, Dad, did any motorcycles come to the P.O. box yet? He's just like, yeah, they keep sending really weird stuff to really weird names on there. I would really prefer not to have to pick this up anymore. And I say, Dad, until I have enough motorcycles to build the Ferris wheel of motorcycles, you're going every day.
Well, he's already checking his own mail.
Correct. Yeah, they're boxes.
You're not a monster.
No. It's convenient for him. So, but yeah. And just real quick, speaking of the P.O. box, Otis sent some Coca-Cola bottles
Oh, yeah.
to the P.O. box, which this past Tuesday on the Hobby Hangout that Taylor does every Tuesday right here on the Twitch at 6 p.m. Eastern. He's been putting together that Coca-Cola Bear Ursa Major for me. And
Cola Major, he's been calling
Cola
it.
Major. He actually he messaged me a couple different options for it. He's like, so which out of these variations of professional casual Coca-Cola and Bear would you prefer? And I did not respond to him in a timely manner, and he chose the one that I was going to choose. So I was actually pretty happy with that. But
At first, I thought it was a typo when he had the post about it.
oh
And
yeah,
I was like, Cola Major? No, it's Ursa Major, you weirdo. And that, because I forgot what he was going to do with it. I love the scarf. He's holding a Coca-Cola bottle. It's so good.
yeah, yep. But yeah, so that seems well on its way. Probably going to be on the stream on a Monday night here very soon.
Ooh.
So pretty stoked about that. He also finished up Pyro, and
Really?
yep, Pyro, Human Torch, and Baron Strucker.
Oh, yeah. I
So-
watched some of the streamers doing Human Torch and Strucker.
So I'm going to be able to add those into my repertoire on a more regular basis without feeling bad about asking Dan constantly to borrow his models.
I'm bringing models anyway.
No, I know, but like,
I don't mind. It's fine. Just don't break them in your cup holder.
thank you. A very real
Steal my
threat.
beast again.
Have I not given that back yet?
No, I got it.
Okay. I was like, I still don't remember giving that back. I remember
took it.
multiple points of intending to give it back.
Yeah,
but-
I took it out of the box and put it in my lunchbox.
Nice. Oh, that
Hey.
was my beast.
Who's Beta Ray Bill?
So, Beta Ray
Thank
Bill.
goodness Dylan's here to keep us on track a little bit.
But real quick, so it is my assumption that we will see Ulik on both Cabal and as Guardians.
I was gonna say probably as Guardians.
If
think
there's
so.
if there's a third affiliation out there, maybe Criminal Syndicate, but that might be a stretch. But,
Yeah, I think
but-
Cabal and
I like
Asgard
that.
makes the most sense.
yeah, and he's just straight up been part of the Dark Council before. So like, I think
Do you
fits.
think that it's possible at some point that they might make a villain Asgard affiliation?
I
Like its own.
would
separate
actually
thing?
really hope so.
Because Hydra was technically like kind of Cabal, right? And then they
Yeah.
popped out as their own thing.
Well, it's kind of like Weapon X and X Force too. They're so similar,
Right,
But they're
right.
just different enough. Because who do you, if not Hela or Loki, who would be the leader of that, or would it be a different version of one of those?
I'd be thinking Loki's dad,
Yeah,
The-
I would
the
too.
Frost
Laufey.
Giant.
Yep.
Yeah, Laufey.
Laufey would be. I would love to see. I just want a Frost Giant in the game because obviously
Like a
Ice
Sentinel
thing-
sized.
Or
Yeah.
Suitor.
Oh.
Suitor, I
Oh.
think, would be another absolute lock in
Ymir.
for that. Yeah.
Not as a leader, but just awesome.
Yep. He'll be that big 8 threat that everyone compares to Dormammu.
Which one? Suitor?
Suitor.
Yeah,
I feel
that
like he'd
would
be a
work.
pretty basic 8 threat. Like, I got a big flaming sword.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you with it.
What else does he need?
I'm angry.
I mean,
He pushes
Not complaining.
people away with his big tummy whenever he hits them, and he spends power, and also
It's like
incinerates
people on
them.
fire.
Yeah,
Isn't he made of like magma?
yeah, liquid hot magma.
yeah, and he's voiced by
Magma.
Clancy Brown.
Ooh, fancy. So does he come in the box? Do you have to like build him too?
No, it's just there. It's just you have to try to make the voice like Clancy Brown, but nobody can do that.
Oh.
Very
Oh, jeez.
legitimately, I know literally this has been a half an hour of tangents so far, but
Not all of it.
I really, really, really desperately want like a 2-threat J. Jonah Jameson in this game that is just
It would be awesome.
abilities like Merc with a Mouth that just like takes power away from complaining
Yeah.
or like slows people by putting
And he'll
other
have
stories
arch
about him.
nemesis Peter.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
But he's got his only attack is a gainer that's range 1 and like 1 or 2 physical dice.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Just treat him like a grunt. Actually, that would be even better. Whoa! All right, here, hurry! I got it! I got it! I got it! I got it! I got it!
JJJ.
House of M, Spider-Man, Peter Parker.
Don't remember.
He's a celebrity. He is lying about being a mutant because he has spider powers and mutants are in. So he just straight up lies to everyone about being a mutant.
Huh.
So good.
This brings him fame and money and respect. And J. Jonah Jameson is his secretary, who he abuses on a regular basis.
What?
This
How'd I
Spider-Man
totally miss that in
would
House
have
of
J.
M?
Jonah Jameson as his grunt. Because he
Amazing.
absolutely uses him as a grunt during the House of M storyline.
Oh my god.
But you know, actually, well, here's the thing, right? Who is Ulik?
We already answered that
He's
question.
the king of the rock trolls. He's
Have-
So do you
Ulik's
think he could be a
listening-
leader? Is the point I was
he's
getting to.
Oleg's brother, bro.
Oh, right. Oh, I did look up who his dad was. It's Stan Lee, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Stan Lee's his dad,
Uh,
and it was somebody else. Hold on, let me double check. There was, I think it had. I think he has 2 dads.
Oh,
Jack
also,
Kirby. Jack Kirby's also his dad.
Also, Ulik is known for his transport called the Ultra Drill. So he's gonna have like a tactics card that's gonna give him
100%.
like a teleport or like a
it's a shield mobile,
infiltrate
but a
type
drill.
thing. Yeah, or that, yeah. But he's gonna have his Ultra Drill there somewhere because why wouldn't you?
Why? Where's Thanos' helicopter?
Yeah, the fact
We'll
that
get
we
it
don't have a
eventually, don't
Thanos
worry.
copter yet.
A bit disappointing.
We'll get that before Iceman, though, for sure.
For sure. Anyway,
Yeah,
so the
you're
point I'm
right.
getting to is if they do, I mean, could this be the time they do it? Are they going to do a villain faction? I think there's enough characters that they could possibly do it.
We're getting there.
Well, yeah,
Hela-
actually, legitimately. Yeah, you have
They are getting
Hela,
pretty close.
Enchantress, Scourge,
What else did you say?
Malekith, Enchantress, Scourge, and
Loki,
Loki,
Oh, duh,
the
Loki.
Lokester.
Ulik.
I mean, realistically, Asgard is more
Hela.
villains than heroes at this point, anyway.
It's
isn't it?
weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Because it's like Thor, Heimdall, and Valkyrie.
Why?
Angela. I always forget.
Why
Angela.
Ulik? Like, where's Sif? Where are the Warriors 3?
It's one of it's the
Where's
AMG
Balder?
patented deep cut.
Literally,
I
no
guess
one has been
so.
asking
It's
for Sif.
like,
I've only
why?
seen that 7 or 9 times per thread.
Sif is
sure.
awesome, but
Who?
Ulik is one that I saw the picture and I was like, that guy's kind of familiar. I'm like, oh my god, is that Ulik? He's got the knuckle duster things. I only know of him because of Hero Clicks.
Nice.
When I got that model, I was like, who is this guy? And I kind of looked it up back then. So like, I don't know. He looks cool. His model looks great.
Yeah. Listen,
And he comes with Beta Ray Bill, so who cares?
yeah,
who else
it
is in
doesn't
that
matter.
box?
Listen, everyone's gonna like Ulik because it comes with Beta Ray Bill. What I guess
Yeah,
what
right.
else do you need?
I feel like Beta Ray Bill is already kind of a deep cut because he's a weird character. Like he looks like
Yeah.
Thor, but he's got a horse face and he's a cyborg and he's got a gold hammer instead.
Mhm.
But people love Beta Ray Bill because he's awesome.
He is actual Stormbreaker. You know what I mean? Like the actual Stormbreaker,
Yeah.
not this other garbage that other people have made up, but like the real one. And why does he have Stormbreaker? Because he was so good of a Thor, Odin was like, yeah, listen, regular Thor, I know like you're Thor or whatever, but he's better than you, so we need to figure out how to make him another one and then give it to him.
Which I think he could just make them, right?
Yeah,
Like, I think you just make these storm weapons. Like, yeah, whatever. Here,
Odin can
make
do a
it out of
lot of things or has
moon
the
metal or whatever.
ability to help other people do a lot of things that he just doesn't do on a regular basis. Yeah,
Right.
no.
Things would be so much better if he just did those things.
Yeah,
wrong.
so Odin's probably going to be the leader of the bad guy Asgard affiliation.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
Oh, you're gonna summon Mitch again. He does not want Odin in the game. He thinks he's out of the realm.
I do
He
too.
would be-
legitimately.
He would be like a 9.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
can have Dormammu, you can have Odin.
I think
for
that's-
sure.
I think that's valid. I think that's valid.
But yeah, I almost said Thor. Beta Ray Bill is awesome. He looks so cool. He has a spaceship called the Scuttlebutt, which is just
My favorite thing.
so amazing.
My
Thank you,
favorite thing
man.
about his vehicle being the scuttlebutt is that it has Patrick Duffy as a leg and one of its arms is celery.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was Walt Simonson that created Beta Ray Bill, not Stan Lee.
That's
but
That's an old South Park reference, isn't it?
it's like the third time he's
Yeah,
made it in a
that's-
few weeks too.
Patrick Duffy is a
It's almost like someone knew Scuttlebutt would be coming up soon, so we needed to lay
That's
some
right.
groundwork.
That's like season 1, season 2 type stuff.
It sure is. Back when Randy was still a geologist as his primary character drive.
Oh my
Patrick Duffy
God.
is. Yeah, he's like the chupacabra. That's right.
But Beta Ray Bill is gonna be OP because he's a cyborg. He's gonna be immune to poison.
Yeah, and that's gonna make him a 5 threat, right? Isn't that?
I mean,
the
he's
thing?
gonna be a 5 or 6 already,
So he's gonna be a
but
6.
he's gonna be an OP 5 or 6 because he's immune to poison.
I think he'll be a push 5 or a better than Thor 4.
no, that would
Yes,
just be the
that is
worst.
likely.
I think
Well,
he'll be
Thor
the
is a
opposite
3 though. Thor is a 3 threat.
He's not.
That's
They just misprinted. That's the only thing I can understand. Is they just misprinted the threat on his card,
So
and they
when
just
this-
haven't fixed it.
What if though, like legitimately, when this box comes out, this is when we see maybe some updates to Asgard as a whole. Maybe we see maybe a small tweak to Valkyrie. Maybe we see a different.
But they just did the affiliation box.
They did, but listen, things happen.
why
in
does this
mysterious
box
ways.
mean other characters are gonna change? Like the affiliation
But
as a
wait.
whole, yes, just like the Heimdall and Scourge box
Yeah.
dramatically changed.
Maybe there's a tactics
Asgard.
card that just makes Thor good.
Yeah, honestly, and that's the thing is like
It
it's
just
so
gives him
easy
an-
to balance characters like that.
It gives him invulnerability 1 and a reroll on his defense, and that's it. And he's good.
And then they just change his entire card.
Yeah, or that.
I bet a lot of Thor's card is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
He just
he's
has
not
a
that bad.
couple little things that keep him from being like a push 5.
Right.
His
Right, did I use that
AOE.
term right?
We could talk about his AOE all day.
Yeah, so and legitimately, if you're unfamiliar with the term, because we are very legitimately a significantly more casual play podcast and show. So when someone says a push 5, it means that they are really pretty on the verge of being another threat or another station up. So a push 5 could easily be a 6.
Voodoo is a push.
Voodoo is
Uh,
absolutely
Yeah,
a push.
definitely.
The new Logan is for sure a push.
Mm-hmm.
He's real good.
Spot on. I found out
Yep.
that hard this
That, I
past
mean,
Monday.
also coupled with a fantastic attack roll
yeah,
against a terrible defense roll. So
I don't know if you knew this or not, but new Logan just one-shot Sentinels.
I took him down. I did only 6 damage.
that's fair.
Again, listen to the previous episode and you'll know my whole debate on 4s.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bring it up again.
No, I think that's actually a very valid just kind of thing as a whole, where fours are actually really in a weird spot, and I don't think we're the groundbreaking people there, but I mean I think it's kind of heavily known, right? That threes are pretty heavily defined and what a three should do, and you know what are good and bad threes, and most threes are actually pretty solid. Viper easily a push too, but. Fives outside of Thor also have a very good kind of power scale where they all kind of fit in a similar function and similar form, and same with sixes. Fours,
They're all good.
Yeah, fours are in that weird spot where it's just like in many situations there's a better three for the thing that you're bringing them for, or you might as well just bring Juggernaut instead. And it's I think fours are one of the points where they are just not clear cut enough yet. And maybe Ulik will change this. Maybe Beta Ray Bill will change that and be like, wow, yeah, Thor really should be a 4 because Beta Ray Bill's so much better. Why would you bring him when you could bring Luke Cage?
Yeah, I really hope that that's not how it goes. I don't want Beta Ray Bill to be a 4.
I really don't want him to be a 4 either.
I hope they're both
I don't think he will be. I don't think he will be.
I also really hope that he's a new affiliation leader for Asgard.
That would be awesome. Yes.
Or Guardian.
Well, I don't want him to be a
don't
new
know
affiliation leader for Asgard, because then there'd be no reason to take Thor. And
Yeah, that's fair.
If he's potentially better.
Well,
what I really hope they do
rivalry, obviously,
is they do a Donald Blake unworthy Thor, and it's better than worthy Thor. I really hope that's what they do.
But he had that axe.
I don't think there's anyone out there that would disagree that unworthy Thor is better than regular Thor anyway. Just
he's
cooler, he's edgier, he's radder, and he does cooler stuff.
He probably wears jean jackets.
And he'll come with Gore the God Butcher in a box.
Oh my gosh, Gore the God Butcher should be the leader of enemy evil Asgard.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's a good choice.
I want to see.
He's a mad boy.
Yeah, he is.
With Beta Ray Bill and Ulik, sort of. I want to see more expansion into the cosmic stuff.
Yeah.
With like Silver Surfer. What were they called? Annihilators.
Yeah,
that was
the
like
Annihilator
Beta Ray
wave.
was a part of the Annihilators.
Yeah, Beta Ray Bill, Silver Surfer, Ronan, the Accuser, Guardian, like
Cosmo.
Love.
Where's Cosmo?
Oh, Cosmo would be great. I want a Cosmo and Mantis box yesterday.
Yeah. Actually,
Even I'd take Bug too. He's cool.
Yes. We all know I'm a big fan of Bug.
What about the Ravenger? Like, where's Yondu? Oh man, Yondu.
Yondu and
That'd
Bug.
be awesome.
Cosmo and Mantis, Yondu and Bug.
And Korg and Meek.
Listen, they're
Korg.
They're doing straight up
Yeah,
justice, right, to other affiliations, and it's only a matter of time before we get an expansion to Guardians that like really brings them back into the limelight.
We haven't had
so historically, this is what they seem to be doing, right? Is they're not really like releasing new affiliates. I say that right after Hydra. They're not like releasing like a bunch of different affiliations. They seem to be like releasing one box for like an affiliation, and then a mutant, and then they release a box for an affiliation that's fun, and then they release another mutant that makes X-Men more broken, and then they release another box for something people actually want to play, and then they release more stupid crap for X-Men, and they just kind of follow that.
I mean, that's the thing is every other box will be X-Men, but none of them are going to be Iceman.
I know, and it makes me so sad. We're going to get Bishop and his sister before Iceman.
It's going to be Kitty Pryde in one box, and then the next mutant box is just going to be Lockheed or whatever the stupid dragon's name is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lockheed's amazing. Yeah.
It's 2 separate boxes, Dan.
Yeah, but I'm addicted, Dylan.
And then we'll get...
I need the dopamine hit, man.
And then when they're finally like, oh, man, we're starting to run out of mutants, they'll bring in the third Black Widow, the mutant from the 1609.
Yeah, 1602.
Yeah, 1602. Dude,
Ultimate
I
Wasp
loved 1602.
We're going to be like
Ravengers.
Right?
Or whatever the Bishop was in charge of, the pirate guys or whatever.
Yeah.
Ravengers or whatever it was.
The Renegade Ravager.
Well, it was the Renegades. It was the Renegades.
I think so.
I said let me look it up.
What?
Yeah.
We have the internet.
But yeah.
Anyway, who is Ulik?
So how are they going to make Beta Ray Bill different than Thor? And don't just say make him better or whatever. Like, how is he going to act different than Thor? Where we have like the Wolverine, Logan the Wolverine is very different from Wolverine. Apex Sabretooth very different from Sabretooth. How are they going to make Beta Ray Bill different than Thor?
Well, first off, last week we delved into this a little bit, right? So as far as if he was an additional affiliation leader, what that affiliation could kind of potentially be, being able to have a defender's style affiliation ability where maybe you can spend to add shock. Probably a more physical based, and I mean, I think we just coined it as Bully Thor for Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah. No, that I honestly think
What?
he's
How
right.
do you get more bully than like Thor is all offense?
That's true, but he could have more. He could move more.
Well, okay, his leadership is defense, but like for attacks and powers, it's just he's all offense all the time.
Kind of. I mean, he has a charge, and
Marauders, that's what it is.
And that's
Rusty
it.
coming in clutch. It's
but I
Marauder.
mean, I think we're gonna see a Thor whose name is Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, how is it going to be different than the current
He's
Thor
gonna
model?
be a bully.
Okay, so well, first, if we want to have this discussion seriously, let's like quickly go over what Thor has, right? So Thor, I'll pull it up right now.
He has
and
a
I'll read it.
charge, a very
He
good one.
sort of.
It's
He's a
named,
very good charge.
It's
Yes.
a named charge similar to
It's
Malekith.
for Asgard.
For Asgard.
Where it's a charge for 3. He gets to move medium. He has to make a strike with it specifically. But at the end of it, if it does damage, it staggers. In addition to that, that strike also has a wild throw trigger.
Yeah, which is really
size
good.
4, a size 4
Correct.
throw.
So it is actually
Just everybody.
and he gets 2 power per turn because he's Asgardian. So it's I still think
Except
and
Blob.
absolutely stand by that it's a very good charge.
Can't push Blob.
He also has a throw where he can throw enemies or terrain. Also very good. At a time when that was kind of abundant, and that has kind of seen to drop off quite a bit.
Both size 4 or less.
Also a size
again,
4,
which
yep,
is
also a
really
size
good.
4.
And throw it medium.
Once again, his strike has a throw, which is solid. He has a range 5 physical attack. Granted, costs 1 power, but automatically applies shock. And then an A2, which is very seldom used.
It's really for 6 power. It's pretty expensive. But if you
Are we gonna talk about this?
if
Or
you
is
catch,
this
I've used it at you get it off at the right time. It can be devastating. You hit 2-3 characters with that 7 dice energy apiece. Can be
Not for the cost.
swingy.
for
it is
6 power?
6 power
It is
on a
too
5.
expensive.
It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think the power itself is fine. It just should cost 1 or 2 less.
And he does have flight because we were talking about him throwing the hammer thing. You remember this?
Yes.
We're talking about the flight thing
Which
at the
is
end
why
of the last.
Toad should have flight, because he also
He should
jumps
have
real
flight.
high.
Correct. Anyway, so what makes? So if we were going
Listen,
to take
it
this,
only matters if there's more terrain in the middle of the field.
So I think Beta Ray
so if we
Bill
take
with that big
also
old
4-4-3 defense, movement 4, and he also has movement M, and he has a lot of health. He's a 6-8.
Yeah.
So he's thick. So if we take, I don't know much about Beta Ray Bill, but if he's just horse face Thor, I imagine he'll probably be like maybe like a 7-7 in terms of health.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
I like
Maybe
it
because-
when they're balanced better.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Less to remember. Defense wise, does he have? I mean, maybe he has a higher Mystic defense because I'm assuming that the reason they say Thor is a 3 Mystic is because he's supposed to be like stupid or
Yeah,
whatever, even though
I
he's
think
not. He's
that's-
not.
That's kind of what they've done a little bit, is that maybe some of the, well, and that's the thing about Thor, right? Is I think that his character in this game is actually really spot on to the character as a whole, where he's not overthinking it. He's hitting it hard, and he's putting up a good defense, but he's not dodging things better or getting re-rolls or all that stuff, because there's a little bit more thought in there, and Thor isn't overthinking it. He's using might to fight might constantly, not in a way that the Hulk does, but in a way where I know that I am strong, so I know this is the amount of effort that I need to put in, and I don't need to double down and try to dodge stuff. I'm going to take it because I'm Thor. So he doesn't
It's
have
very
the
like-
ability. Yeah.
It's very like Superman in DC, right?
Yeah.
He's part of the Justice League because he's the one that takes the laser to the face, so Batman doesn't get melted.
Correct.
Right.
Well, and
So
that's-
maybe, again, I don't know a ton about him, but does he maybe has bodyguard?
yeah.
Beta Ray Bill have bodyguard? Does he
Oh,
jump in
I
front of
like
laser
that.
beams?
It's unfortunately most of my experience with him is in Guardians. So I like unequivocally will say that he will be in the Guardians of the Galaxy affiliation.
Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill.
so.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
hands
mean, if
down.
they get Beta Ray Bill and Agent Venom in the same month added to that affiliation, that's going to completely change
Yep.
how Guardians plays.
And I mean, just
For a
imagine
while.
a Thor. Even if Beta Ray Bill doesn't have rerolls and he is somewhat similar to Thor, having a Thor in Guardians that gets those rerolls from
Winging it.
winging it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Stellar.
So the question is he gonna get a regular charge or is he gonna have a for the ladies or for the? Sorry, I saw Rusty's message out of the corner of my eye. Or is he gonna have 4 Asgard?
What did Rusty say for the ladies?
Put some hot, pull some hot ladies, but like I'm not sure that's translatable in MCP. Apparently it is because
That's
you just
the
made it
higher-mystic
happen,
defense.
Rusty.
It's based
Yeah.
off his charisma in
Yeah,
this case.
based off of, for the ladies.
I do not think that he
Ladies.
will have a charge. I think on one of his attacks or his spenders, he will either have a place or one of those range 3 place within ones.
Yeah.
Alternatively, I also could 100% see him having a pay to move, similar to Bully Cap. I'm really doubling down on the Bully Cap thing here. I
Okay.
think he'll be a lot like that, and we'll probably have some rerolls to attacks.
He can with Stormbreaker. The wikis say that he can fly faster than the speed of light. So having a place makes a lot of sense. Where it's like, oh, he's over there now.
Mhm.
I don't want him to obviously God of Thunder. I don't want him to have a similar attack. I think he's just gonna have a straight ranged energy for just blasting lightning or maybe a beam.
I completely agree. And that's a way to make him different too, right? Is to
It'll be
have a
very
beam.
different. Yeah.
Yep. Bless you.
Hey.
Bless you, man.
Icky.
I didn't think you were that allergic to just being serious about a topic.
Who's being
Yeah.
serious?
You.
Um,
Oh, got him.
but yeah, I think a move, some rerolls on attack, and maybe some cool triggers as far as attacks. But I think AMG is smart enough to not make him just straight up better Thor,
I
because
think
they know that's how it'll be compared. and
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
Well,
they know.
How
But
could you not compare
how
him
do
to
you
Thor?
explain the Wolverine thing?
He has memory issues.
Oh, okay.
He
you're
forgot
right.
about the previous Wolverine that came out.
I see.
He also doesn't
Okay.
have
Lot of
Berserker
sense.
Barrage. So I mean,
Berserker
what's the
Barrage!
point of?
Well, he's got Tornado Claw.
outside of
Tornado Claw.
Tornado Claw.
I just love that both versions of Wolverine have a reference back to the arcade game. It's so great.
And Wolverine does have a very clear defect, which is being near your friends and being attacked with Mystic, which is pretty abundant right now. Having someone like Hood being able to tap you 4 times and do 4 damage to people around you if you've misplaced yourself is actually a really, really big liability.
His guns are a mystic attack?
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yep.
Wow.
Ooh. Yeah, I
Wow.
got lucky in the game Monday when I tried out Wolverine
No.
that you had nothing but
Nope.
physical and energy.
I'm lucky.
I thought you were going to say, no, we're not talking about that yet.
But yeah, that's maybe a across the Bifrost that is personal only to him. That's a very large place because he is so fast.
Place within 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yep.
That would be awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, I there's so much potential there. He could have a scuttlebutt card
Yeah.
as well,
That's true.
similar to the drill. I already forgot what that
Okay.
one was called.
Patrick?
Beta Ray Bill also makes use of the scuttlebutt.
No, like he'll have a card, a tactics card,
Oh
for
yeah.
his scuttlebutt ship,
Yeah,
similar
movement.
to the card that Ulik will have for
Gotcha.
his drill that I forgot
Yep.
the name of the drill.
The scuttlebutt.
Hmm.
Was the scuttlebutt not his drill? What's the scuttlebutt again?
Is Beta Ray
That
Bill's
was-
ship.
Oh,
The
Ulik's
drill was Ulik.
is called the
Oh, okay.
Ultra Drill. How did I
Gotcha.
forget that?
All right. Dude, I'm still just kind of hung up on that celery arm thing. That's why I
Stuck.
said it was a drill.
Stuck on the celery.
But
Like
Like
celery
Patrick
stuck in your
Duffy.
teeth.
and an vulnerability, Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, maybe a
Yeah,
lower amount of
natural.
health. Maybe he is 6'6" or something like that with Invuln 1.
Yeah.
Or maybe in a nerd, I think might make a little bit more sense for the Asgardians or the Carbonites just being.
He also
Tough.
could have regeneration.
He may not have.
healing.
He
factor.
may not have the 2 energy generation either, because he's actually not technically an Asgardian.
Correct.
That
So
would make a
that-
lot of sense. He'd be part of the
that's what we're
affiliation,
thinking.
but doesn't have that particular rule. I
Mhm.
think
Right.
tracks.
Yep.
But immune to poison, so
I mean, sure. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Can't
so we're
forget
just
about
making
that.
him a 6 then. Fine.
yeah. You said push 5.
Yeah, fair.
Poison
Yeah.
does that in spades.
Well, it used to. It doesn't anymore after the crisis changes.
oh,
But
we did lose the Terrigen mist.
no more Terrigen mists.
Yep.
Rip.
But yeah, I'm super, super stoked.
Rip.
I cannot wait for this card reveal. I am as excited. This is untrue. This statement that I'm about to say, this is not accurate.
Can I predict? Can I helicopters what you're going to say here?
It should be obvious if you know me, so I'll allow it.
You're as excited for the Beta Ray Bill reveal as Nate GG is for Agent Venom.
Yep,
But it's not true.
That is 100% what I was going to say, and 100%.
Dylan just left. you knew what you were going to say too. We didn't need to hear it.
Yeah. But that is spot on. Spot on. I'm actually super stoked for Beta Ray Bill. Nowhere near as much as Nate is for Agent Venom.
Well, Nate is like to Agent Venom what I am to Iceman. Like this is what he's wanted.
Who?
Don't even. I'm super pumped for Beta Ray Bill. He was one that would be like on a long short list that it was like I would love to see Beta Ray Bill. I doubt we'll ever get him in the game or not for years.
I think he's been on all of our lists. I mean, even when
We've
Chuck was on the
mentioned
show,
him.
yeah, Beta Ray Bill is certainly one of those like right. But I think actually way back when we were talking about different affiliation leaders for other affiliations, like back when Sam Wilson first came out, I think Beta Ray Bill and Jane Foster Thor were like the top contenders for Asgard.
Yeah, Gene Foster Thor would be
actually
dope too.
since you mentioned him. Would you say that Sam Wilson changed over the course of this past year at all?
That's a great segue, man. One of the things I love about Dylan is that his segue is charged and ready to go to the mall at any point.
Right.
But the other part of this episode that we're going to cover in the next 10 minutes before the end is
10 minutes.
The biggest change to a character. So like we said previously, a few episodes ago, we talked year in review about the most changed affiliation. And Guardians was way up there. Cabal has certainly changed pretty heavily this year, and a handful of others. But as far as a specific character that has either really risen or really decreased in their stock and their abundance of play, what are some of the big winners and big losers of 2022 since the card update at the end of last year? We've seen in general, especially on the Xavier Protocols list, that like Toad through the roof, Okoye down. Mm-hmm. But what in your own play have you seen people kind of fall off onto the wayside, and what characters have you been using a lot more since those updates?
Dan, you go first.
I've been trying to think about this since we talked about it like a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Kind of drawing blanks here, but just thinking now since Juggernaut, he came out after the card pack. Mm-hmm. Was not the card pack was released, but the updates were revealed on the site. I feel like any other Brotherhood or X-Men physical based character's stock went down, like Colossus.
Yeah.
Because like you have Colossus, but there's Juggernaut right there.
Absolutely.
So you're gonna take Juggernaut. Because even just at Everwinter, Juggernaut's been out for just over a year now. Mm-hmm. I believe he came out last November.
Yep.
And we still saw Juggernaut how many times at Everwinter? People love Juggernaut.
Regular mirror matches.
Yeah.
Right?
And like we saw him a ton at Adepticon last year because he was still relatively new. Mm-hmm. But like he's been out for a year, and we still saw him out. We covered 8 games?
Yes.
And he was in probably 4 or 5 lists.
Multiple mirror matches as well.
And people love Juggernaut. So I feel like any other physical-based Brotherhood or X-Men character has dropped a bit because of him.
Especially outside of affiliation, right? So like, I think it's almost pretty standard. If someone's running Brotherhood, Juggernaut's probably going to be there. But we regularly see Juggernaut outside of that.
Well, Jin used him in Web Warriors. Yeah. To great effect. He was awesome.
He loves Web Warriors, honestly.
And this is the thing about Jugs, right? Is that he's like perfectly costed. Like no one ever says like, oh, he should be a 6 or he should be a 4. No, he's exactly what a 5 should be.
He is a 5.
Yep. He's the epitome of like what it is to be useful, but not being too good or not good.
Hulk is way up there for me. As far as like a character that both performed well in and out of affiliation within the past year since that card update. Hulk is one that I think the initial response was like, oh wow, look at that. That's something I might be able to use. And I didn't see him consistently until kind of later throughout the year, but I see him in a lot of lists now. I see him in Convocation, obviously Avengers. I've seen him in Guardians, Cabal, Black Order. Like he's all over the place. Hulk is stellar. since that card update, and I think it just took maybe a little bit of time for people to really get used to him.
I just used him a couple weeks ago on Oh Yeah, the Power Fate.
Yeah.
What affiliation was he in? I cannot remember.
That's a great question, Dan. If I had to describe what affiliation that he was in when you played that particular game against me on Oh Yeah, the Power Phase, I think that it would probably be an affiliation that some would describe.
Are you talking about Hulk? He's Defenders and Avengers.
Who
Defenders
else?
and
I
Avengers.
can't even remember who else I had in that list. Hulk stole the show so much.
He did.
Because he was amazing.
He took that entire side of the board.
Well, he took out Cable and then Gambit one round.
Yeah.
Who else was even on that team? Because he fit with them really well.
He did. I don't remember.
I can't remember a single other character I took in that game.
But he loves Web Warriors. He likes Guardians. He likes Avengers. There's really not a bad spot for him outside of.
He's a
affiliations.
perfect splash.
Yeah. Yep.
He's like perfection.
Well, and
as far as splash
that
goes.
was the thing, right? Is like previously it was like you had to run him in Avengers, and now he's like, listen, Hulk can just kind of show up anywhere. It's a team up.
Yeah.
Like, he's a 6th threat, but he's so good now.
He smashed real good.
Yeah.
He
Smash
does
real good.
Smash real good.
Axel brings up another one too, and this is one that I played a bunch before the changes, and I've played even more after. Is Bullseye,
Oh yeah.
right? I mean, listen.
had-
You need a 2. He's gonna get the job done. What's that job? I don't know.
I
But
mean, I would say he had the biggest change out of all the characters. He's the only one that changed threat level.
yeah, yep.
And it went down, and it was the best call.
Once again, you're cutting my heart a little bit there, but like, yeah, you're not wrong. Similar
No,
to
but it's good.
similar to Beta Ray Bill being a cyborg. Yes.
Because you played Bullseye a lot because you like the character
I love
Bullseye.
Bullseye,
But
yeah.
everybody else said he's not a good 3. Bumping him down to a 2, and all they did was reduce his health and Mystic Defense a tiny bit.
And his builder strength.
Okay, so we lost a couple dice
Yeah.
here and there, but to put him in line with 2s properly, and he's one of the better 2s. Like,
Yeah.
he's way up there.
Yeah.
And that made it so you saw him more often.
Yeah.
Like, when I need to fill a spot in a list and I got 2 points left, Bullseye's the top of that consideration list.
It's him and Hydra Bob. Yeah. At the top for me.
Him and Toad, a 2-threat Black Widow's always is still stellar up there.
But she's
Wow.
actually, someone that kind of fell in stock because Toad really kind of had a pretty big upheaval after those changes. Okoye taking that hit really kind of gave a lot of the other 2s a chance to shine.
Which I think was needed for her. I think
Absolutely.
she wasn't like an overpowered 2, but I think just the fact that we saw her so much
She was just so
ubiquitous.
undervalued. Oh, she was so undercosted for the value that she provided.
But I wouldn't argue that she was a should have been a 3-threat by any means.
Well, when she was
yeah.
gaining energy on the spear throw, she
Yeah.
should have been a 3.
That
She
was
should have been.
The changes they made for her, I thought, were perfect.
Yeah.
To bring her in line with the other 2s, because she was far and away better than the other 2s.
Yeah.
So I thought.
So here's
just
the
little tweaks.
here's the thing. Here's the thing though. Have you seen Okoye since the change?
No. I mean,
Yeah,
like
I haven't
outside
seen it
of
once.
like our games where we just play everyone all the time because we love the characters.
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, the competition for 2s increased with Toad and Bullseye.
Yeah.
Significantly
Honey
changed
Badger.
that playing
Honey
field.
Badger
Honey
came out
Badger's
too.
also dope.
Hydra Bob, definitely.
He's
I'm
there
glad we all
still.
agree on that one.
Not Hydra Bob and
Well,
slightest.
Definitely Hydra Bob though.
No. Oh, but
Oh,
what
yeah,
about?
There's Hydra
Actually-
Bob.
But wait a minute. Who is Ulik? Yeah, no, but seriously, Hydra Bob. Who? I haven't even seen him in Hydra.
Listen, if you're not running Hydra Bob like in literally every affiliation, you're missing the mark.
Elevation.
Yeah. Recently talked a lot about Hydra Bob in an episode of The Danger Room.
Oh yeah.
And listen, if you listen to that episode, you'll find out every decision I ever make is just to mess with my opponent's mind.
Oh wow, that's so weird.
Excessive violence! I could just do it.
I do hate that when Bob's on the table. When is Tim gonna do it? And then half the time you just don't anyway.
Right, because it's already worked. Like you're already. If I can waste an action and someone being like, "Well, I don't want to move him over there. He might get excessive violenced," or I'm not going to call all these people up because excessive violence.
My stock person. A little bit of you probably didn't think of it. I'm thinking Mystique. Like Mystique stock went way up especially with the 2 recent releases, right? Blob and Pyro, exactly what she needed. I think she's slowly been gathering strength in the shadows.
Yeah.
Over the course of the year.
And it's one of those things, right, where you can only kind of witness her kind of gaining in that strength if you're within range 3 or less.
That's true. And then she's gonna give you a bunch of rings, and then but in secret, she will forge another ring that is a master to those other rings.
Well, Mystique stock rising, I think, just is because Brotherhood has become such a complete affiliation where you
Yeah.
have Freedom Force and play wide now with so many 3s and 4s you can choose from, or you can go Magneto and play it tall and just go, heavy hitting.
Well,
Because before you had
so
trouble
good.
filling out a wide roster.
correct.
Yeah.
But
And now
you
they
can.
have, 11 or 12 Brotherhood characters?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, and she plays well with others too. She actually has a really good affiliation.
That's true.
Oh, come on. What do you mean? Listen,
I don't think.
obviously you don't run oops all rapid fire and rerolls as often as I do
I
because
mean, I've seen Mystique take down Malekith before his change.
that's true.
Just her and
actually.
Sabretooth alone. Boom, no Malekith. Who's that guy?
But very legitimately, I had actually, I think, probably one of my better non-jokey points, and I have completely lost it.
Oh, man, you have those
Ah,
sometimes.
nuts. Yeah.
Wow, it happens.
Oh, shucks.
But yeah.
All right, so who got worse?
Oh,
Who's the biggest loser? Yeah, Okoye. I think it's Okoye.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah, and Enchantress potentially.
I don't know. Enchantress is still real good.
She is, but like I literally
ever
haven't
see
seen
her?
her at all this
No,
past
wait a
year
minute.
since that change.
What? No, what threat is she?
4.
Oh,
Oh, wait, are you making a point? Not just asking a
Oh.
question?
She's in that
Wow.
weird, yeah.
was
She
a
was a
leading
push 4,
question.
and now she's just a 4.
Now
Which
she's just a
that
4,
means
yeah.
a lot of different things.
Yeah, for real.
I
but
mean,
what,
people only take the good 4s. I'm just saying.
what I was gonna say, now that I've remembered as well, is that I think we will continue to see Mystique stock rise with the changes
Sure.
to Crisis Eye. Her affiliation ability kind of getting a little bit of a bump with a lot more marks on the map as a whole. Granted, a lot of them are extracts that have increased in number, but I think
still-
that only makes that more important and powerful.
We often forget about the refund part of hers.
Yeah.
Well, like more extracts on the field, easier for Brotherhood, Freedom
Yep.
Force to interact with those and get that power back to do something else. Shoot more fire or
There's 6
belly
senators here.
flop on somebody.
Correct.
Ah, that was so fun.
So, out of curiosity,
Who's
going
the
on to
other?
like, who's Ulik? Do we have any ideas like for as far as like Spider-Woman and Agent Venom? Can you guess what threats they're going to be?
I'm guessing
4 and 4.
3s for both of them.
I don't know. I think Spider-Woman might be a 4 because I guess it kind of depends on like what version of her they use.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
How strong do they go? How much do they do her Venom Blast thing?
I do think that Agent Venom will probably be a 3 though, because I mean he's supposed to be weaker than Brock Venom.
Is
Yep.
he? I don't know much about that character.
It's because
That's what he needs
Venom
guns.
doesn't get along.
You know what I mean? Like he needs
he-
tools.
yeah,
Does
right.
he need guns or does he just like guns?
Listen, he doesn't have magic hands that he can just shoot bullets out of like
Hey,
Hood. He
magic
actually
gun?
needs guns.
Does he shoot symbiote out of the guns?
No, just regular
I think it's
bullets.
just bullets.
actually
I think it's
super
hot lead.
unimpressive. Yeah.
Oh, that's a little lame.
Which, as a symbiote user, right? There's 2 things that you're not about: loud noises and fire. And guns are literally both of those.
It's contained.
That's fair. And
Axel
pointed
went the
away.
opposite direction. You think Agent Venom's gonna be a 4 or 5? I don't know about that. Spider-Woman's definitely not a 2 or a 3.
I don't think a 2. I think a 3 or 4 like hard lock is definitely one of those. I would trend more towards 3, but
Really?
I would like to see a
Only because
threat Venom,
yeah,
the Agent Venom, and having
Yeah,
both of
I
them on there
think
would be
they should.
awesome.
Yeah, I think
He just
should be.
looks.
I think he should be.
cool.
I think he should be just like a different take on Punisher.
Yeah. with
Essentially.
some moves and some pushes and maybe some wall crawling.
and
Maybe you could
being in an
interact from
affiliation.
2,
Yeah.
like Toad.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, right.
I do actually. I like that a lot. I don't think we mentioned that. Maybe Agent Venom being able to interact from a little bit farther away.
Yeah,
As
just like
he
Toad
is.
That's
can
true.
with his tongue. He's got those tendrils that could come out.
Yeah. As
Because
a-
he's
He's made
more
a-
like with
made
it
a
than
goo.
Venom just wants to eat people.
Correct.
And Carnage just,
Made him
he's
a
not thinking about
goo.
objectives.
So maybe no throw at all. Maybe a rapid fire builder.
Yeah.
No way he's got to throw. No
I don't
way.
think
Yeah, I
so.
completely agree. So no throw, a rapid fire builder, and being able to interact a little bit further away, maybe even stealth.
If he does have a throw, I think it'd be like Doc Ock throw. Grab something within 3, only size 2 or less, only terrain, throw it short.
Yeah.
Like it's a throw, but it's not great.
I would go so far as to say, like, literally, I think 0 throws, maybe a push, probably pulls, and
Yeah, definitely be a pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Spider
I do.
Woman, she can straight fly. She can
Yep.
do the zappy thing.
Yep.
Shoots toxin, I think is what it's called.
Something like that. Yeah, she's obviously super strong.
I
and
wouldn't be
whatnot.
shocked if that toxin came out as something like Mind Possession on Cassandra Nova.
That would be dope.
Where it would allow you, after the attack, probably a 1 or 2 spender at most, basic attack for the most part, but would
Move the
allow
target short.
Yeah, you can move them afterwards.
Advance them. Does
Or
Spider-Woman,
a
does she have
Mystique
any
style
kind of
reactive where
sense?
you can't use reactions or tactics cards on her turn as well, because she's kind of into that charmy pheromone stuff.
Yeah, I'm more leaning towards a 3.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she has a spider sense. I don't really know.
I wouldn't.
Well, she's not an actual like
Yeah, she's
whatever
a
you want to say. She's not a spider person as far as like Pete goes.
Right.
As Ron Haynes told us from the comic book rundown, Spider-Woman actually a spider turned into a woman.
Yeah, well, that's one of the takes. She's also supposed to be like the super scroll.
Yeah, so and that's I
Yeah,
think
it
another
depends on which one it is.
super important
Yeah,
part is
yeah,
I think we see
yeah.
Hydra, I think we see Cabal, we see Avengers, we see Web Warriors, and maybe like 4 more affiliations because frankly,
For Spider-Woman?
yeah,
An Agent Venom will be almost certainly Web Warriors, definitely
Guardians.
Guardians. They
Definitely
confirmed that
Guardians.
in the description text.
Yep.
At least he comes with Guardians tactics cards, so I'd be shocked if he wasn't also
Maybe-
added to Guardians.
Is it Shield? Is Shield the one that was in charge of him?
was it Shield? I thought it was something closer to like Thunderbolts and X-Force, or not X-Force.
He might
but,
fit in Shield
Yeah. When
to
Thunderbolts
represent that.
when
like,
Thunderbolts
government
comes out,
work.
he'll obviously be in Thunderbolts.
Well,
too,
yeah.
but
Couldn't this Spider-Woman also be in Thunderbolts or no?
good question.
I feel like I remember seeing her on like a cover or something, but I think it might
Maybe.
be getting mixed up with like Dark Avengers,
Could be.
which really could also kind of fit in the Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
They are just a different iteration of Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Really. It's the same concept.
But yeah, I think absolutely in Guardians, which I'm.
He was in Secret Avengers.
Oh yeah.
So that could kind of fit Shield, that more ground level team. But if we see Beta Ray Bill and Agent Venom into Guardians in February, that's really exciting for that affiliation.
It really
That is good. I mean, I think that was our biggest change in affiliation
Yes, it
from the
was.
card pack in terms of they got so much better,
Mhm.
and just had more options and everything. That more characters in there will just mix it up. And I just love the idea of a hard hitter in there. Like, yes, Angela's there, but she was like super popular at first and really dropped off quick for
Right.
whatever reason.
But to be able to add in another 3 that's heavily physical based with a little bit of ranged that doesn't need to have a bunch of damage on them to really perform like Drax. I think a 3-threat, physical focused, objective focused Agent Venom and Guardians is like spot on.
Kind of, you can have him on the opposite side of the table of Groot and do a similar
Yeah,
job. He
Yep.
just wouldn't be as tanky as Groot, I would expect.
correct.
Does he have any kind of regeneration abilities? Would he have healing factor?
I doubt it. I think
I
actually
mean, if
by
he had a
round-
heal, it'd be similar to Venom.
by
Right?
by round
Attack.
3, he'll actually probably have an ability that turns him into Flash Thompson without legs. Because he could. Flash Thompson can only wear the Agent Venom symbiote for so long before the government's like, oh, no, pull him out, take it off. It's going to bond with him.
Really?
Yeah. He has like a hard time limit. Like,
Oh,
to
that's
be able to use
awesome.
Venom. So he gets like deployed.
So
and it's
when
like,
he
you got
flips-
3 hours and then we're going to take you out. So there's constantly like that like web fluid. I'm running out of web fluid, but it's like, I'm running out of my Venom time. Like my watch is going off.
Oh, that's so good.
So
just imagine
Uncle
the front
Sam going to
side,
get real mad.
so he's a 3, but his healthy side has 8 health, 8 stamina. And when he flips,
Yeah, I know
he's
where
just
you're going
Flash
with
Thompson.
Without
Is it
legs.
gonna be like the Hulkbuster thing? Or
Yes.
another character
He's just a dude.
crawling
Does
around
he
on
not
the
have
ground?
legs for real?
Yeah, that's why.
No,
they
yeah.
get- yeah.
They get blown off. I think an IUD in Iraq.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So yeah, when he flips, he transforms. They just haven't shown the model off yet into just Flash Thompson.
James Russell just said taser face for Guardian.
Taser face.
IED, by the way, not an IUD. That's something completely different.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Can also take out your legs. Bad
That's something
joke, don't
Dan
flag
needs.
that. But, anywho, yeah.
So who's Ulik?
He's the U in the IUD. But
God, I feel like that means we need to wrap it up.
yep, sure does. So outside of that, guys, as always, thank you to Dr. D, to Dan, to all of our patrons at patreon.com/professionalcasual, especially our King Doppelgangers and our professional cake sitters, including Rob, Bastian, Tony Hot Hands, Leroy, Bicon, Cider Drinker, Dr. D, the new one who I don't know which name I should call you yet, and
M. Dagna.
Cider Drinker, and Mr. Adagna.
Who Mo Dagna's named after.
He is. So actually, we should probably have the Mo Dagna model back on stream at some point here soon. It's been a hot minute because he was another one of the characters that got hit pretty hard, and his stock went down a little bit.
If I'm on the show again, right,
Ooh.
and then you don't ask me what I did to hobby, is there a place I could buy hobby stuff?
There certainly is. That's actually a really good segue that's still charged over there, Dylan. And that would be beardeddragongames.online. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming out next year, and most of them are up over at beardeddragongames.online. And if you are pre-ordering any of your Marvel Crisis Protocol models, you will get 15% off of retail for just ordering it ahead of time. If, holidays have got you down, maybe you've overspent a little bit and you need a little bit more time to recover, guess what? You can still get 10% off any currently released model by using code PCME10 at checkout. That's professional casual. Who's the discount for? Me. How much is it? 10%. PCME10 at checkout. In addition to all that, we really appreciate... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dylan.
I was going to say, I try and use it on every single thing I buy now. Doesn't matter where. I'm at Macy's, but hey, I got a discount code, and they'll be like, "What?" It's like, "Is it PCME10?"
Big Chuck told me this would work here,
and then I swipe my Chucker card.
Your Big Chucker card.
You got one?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. No, I don't have one. Chuck has never acknowledged me yet.
So
that tracks.
In addition to all that, guys, we really appreciate everyone that supports us here with bits or subscriptions here on Twitch as well. Literally every little bit that you guys do impacts us pretty substantially, and we're able to do what we do truly only because of your support. So heavily just thank every single one of you for supporting us, whether it's reviews on Audible or Amazon, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or it's follows, even if it's Amazon Prime subs or what have you. Guys, we really appreciate every single one of you.
Keeping you on task.
Thank you so much. And we really appreciate Dr. D for regularly reigning in the show, especially every 3 to 4 minutes when we need it again. But we're going to be at the Las Vegas Open at the end of January, streaming all the MCP stuff there. We'll also be at Adepticon, streaming all of the events there. Make sure to be following all of the Adepticon socials, as news will be breaking pretty soon about the event list, what days and times those will all be. If you are concerned that there weren't going to be competitive events at Adepticon, do not worry. They will be there. Contest of Champions, as well as a whole bunch of others, will certainly be there, in addition to the Worthy. If you are someone that is good at painting models, maybe you've written a bunch of blogs about how to do that over at professionalcasual.com, now is the time to start prepping for what model you are going to be submitting to the Worthy at Adepticon. That is AMG.
Ulik.
Straight up. Ulik might be a great call there. Maybe
I'm going to walk up to Dallas and be like, who is this?
Just hold up your beautifully painted model. Yo, who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
And then they're going to put another beautifully painted Ulik directly in front of you.
In front of it. That's a deep cut. If anybody doesn't look at that one.
If you guys haven't already, over at the YouTube, we've posted, I believe, nearly all of the games that we streamed from Everwinter, including all the finals are certainly up. So if you want to check out some unsung heroes of MCP, especially the affiliations including Spider Foes and Dark Dimension, they both appeared in the finals and both did well overall throughout the weekend, including Mr. Shane Smith from our friends over at Crisis Point, in addition to younger Phil.
Yeah.
Who was running some
Water
Dark Dimension.
Tribe sweatshirt.
It really was. But so we'll be at all that stuff. Make sure to follow us here. We'll provide coverage whenever and as often as we can. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday, and we love you. Oh, check out Mr. Dr. D stuff and Fury's Finest and painting competitions.
Painting contest, Medal of Flight, please send it to furypainting.com. Go.
Who's Ulik? Bye.
Who is it?
Love you.